this.
There we go.
I like this open, buddy.
And I love bubbles. I don't know about you, but this is a bubble machine, and it just keeps pumping out bubbles.
I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 I'm gonna get myself a modem.
Hoy! Hoy, everyone! Yeah, it started with a bang, didn't it? All those bubbles. We got modern biology. This is a thing that we showed a couple of weeks ago. Welcome to Interview Friday, by the way. This is lunch therapy for those of you that might not know. Bloss is muttering in the background. And according to Kamala, hoy Pam, hoy hummingbirds, hoy everyone. Hey Tina Adams, who's up there in your neck of the woods? Edmonds, Washington, somehow I missed you. Next time we're gonna have to get together. You know I like the weather back home a lot better, but I'm back in Los Angeles and it's 1,000 degrees out. It's 1,000 degrees. So yeah, so modern biology. If you were not here when we had modern biology on before, this is the video that we showed. Here he is. His name is Modern Biology, or that's what he goes by, and he's out there in the woods hooking up a synthesizer to the plants and producing this beautiful music. And we were all like, wow, what the heck is going on here? You know? What is happening? It sounds awesome, doesn't it? Yeah, for those of you who haven't heard it. We're going to explore this today because when we were at the Thing Festival in Port Townsend, Washington, we were able to actually experience this live. And you'll see there's a lot to be said here, but let's watch just a clip of him explaining it. And I'm going to take in deep breaths while we do it. So that's going to be like a combo platter. Jason Edelman's here. Mushroom disco is happening. So, let's see, Chuck says, it was so hot, dozens of topless dancers took off the bottoms. All right, so now we're going to get into it.
My name is Modern Biology.
This is him.
I make music with the natural environment. I'm really into listening to what we don't normally listen to. So that could mean electromagnetic radiation. It could mean plant bioelectricity. Right now, I have 2 electrodes connected to this sunflower.
Can't handle it.
And we're listening to little burbles of changes in the bioelectric field of this sunflower. Listening to the natural environment brings me like directly into the present moment. And so my hope is that for the next 30, 40 minutes that we have here together, it's going to be a big night. It's like day 3 of the festival, I think. Yeah. And so this is a chance to like recharge, be inspired, maybe reconnect with nature, and build up some energy for the rest of the night. That sound good?
All right, let me just recap what he said. First of all, let's take in a deep breath, in through the nose, out through the toes. Guignol said he lasted about 5 minutes in the mushroom show. I don't know. I guess he didn't let it permeate his cells. Let it go. Camel says he's vibrating too high like a hummingbird. So one of the questions that I had is like, how does this work? You know, what is it? What happens here? How is a mushroom singing to me if you just connect electrodes to it? And what are all those wires? Here he is explaining a little bit of this thing.
I figured maybe I'd explain a little bit about what's going on to take away some of the mystery. So I'm just going to do a little connecting and unconnecting. Basically what we're doing is sending a current. Right now, this current is going through this sunflower. And as the sunflower fluctuates its bioelectric field, we're sending those fluctuations into a synthesizer and making it go up and down. So it's sort of a way of listening to the natural environment. But you can do it with anything that's alive and changing. It has to it has to have water in it because we're sending a current through it, so it has to conduct electricity in some way. But perhaps it's easiest if I just demonstrate with myself for a moment. So what I'm going to do is take away all the pretty stuff, and I'm just going to let you listen to the raw current going through my body, and then we'll listen to what it sounds like when I sort of force it into a scale. So this is always a little bit abrasive, but that's what we're doing. Okay, you ready? So this is the non-pretty version of bioelectricity. All I'm doing is running a current from this guy to this guy through my body. And I mean, that's kind of cool for a second. Actually, most kids like that version better than I like the pretty stuff. So kids are probably, more into that than what they're going to hear next. But if instead of doing that, I force, every time there's like a little tiny, infinitesimally small change in bioelectric field, if I force that to do a note change instead, this is what that sounds like. So I'm taking out that, I'm turning on one of the synthesizers instead, and this is what that sounds like. So any of you read the book Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake? Any mushroom fans in the house? Yeah, it's a great book, you should read it. And in that book, he talks about nature not being a thing, nature being a process. All of us, everything that's a part of nature is a process. We're just basically systems through which matter passes. And what I like about this practice is that it really helps me remember that that's what's happening inside of me. It's not like we're a fixed entity that's walking around. We're actually just a system that's kind of almost like an obstacle course for matter to pass through. And you can hear that burbling and gurgling.
Well, okay, so that's an explanation of it, and I think it's interesting because we're going to take one more breath in through the nose, out through the toes. While we contemplate this, let it go. But some people are like, well, okay, so it sounds like when you just hook it up, the raw sound, and it's the changes that trigger the notes. And then we get that music. And people are like, well, that's not really the sound that the mushroom is making. But when you think about it, somebody plays the piano, they're just plunking keys with their fingers, and the sound of that is not really anything until you put it through either the strings of the piano or the synthesizer of a keyboard. So one of the things that he said that I found really interesting was that sometimes people are threatened by listening to vegetables play music because it threatens our superiority as humans, because we think we're so superior. But it turns out everything around us is creating music too. Everything around us is doing incredible things, as we find out on this show. And perhaps we are not superior in nature. Perhaps we are just a system in nature. Glossary: having pizza, refining sound from big objects to small. Today, I didn't really set up what we're doing today. We are going to look at more modern biology. This is Interview Friday, and it's a different kind of Interview Friday because we're going to interview modern biology briefly. We're going to watch some more things that he does with these sounds, and then we are going to see some other interviews from the Thing Festival, just brief interviews, and then we're going to have this really fun interview with the Port Townsend Psychedelic Society. They were generous enough to explain their position on psychedelics, which I'm not necessarily an advocate of psychedelics. I'm not saying go out there and do psychedelics because I don't really know. And I frankly am kind of afraid of that stuff. But these people enlightened me quite a bit. And I wanted to share with what they had to say. Let's get back to breathing. One more breath in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. And now what we're going to do is see what a Douglas fir sounds like. So he hooked it up to this Douglas fir. He just took a branch from outside the space we were in. Maybe, as Neil was walking out the door, he grabbed a branch and said, "Hey, Neil, don't go to Rainwolf because you're not a big fan of Rainwolf either. Neil, you need to train with MAGA to enjoy the screams of the tortured." Oh my God. Oh my God. Psychedelics. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think I have brain damage from my psychedelic phase, Just Jay says. Okay, so here we go. Maybe modern biology is more your speed now. It certainly is more my speed.
There's some big, beautiful Douglas firs right outside, so I thought next up we could experiment with listening to them. Oh.
Tickle it pretty soon. I find it interesting when it stops singing for a moment and he has to tickle it to get it to play again. Here we go.
It's interesting when they stop. And then sometimes when you touch them, they start again. Should we try that?
Yeah. Chuck. See, look. Now it's like he's playing the branch. Nickling the old ivories. Now, yes, so Chuck had a good point. Maybe it was Chuck, maybe it was Gniel. But they said, can you hear the trees screaming? Screaming trees. It's a band, right? It's a band already. But maybe when he puts those clamps on the thing, maybe it's screaming. Maybe it's like, get those clamps off of me. Who knows? And then then he lets go and they're like, well, these are kind of, maybe the Douglas fir likes the clamps. Some people like to put clamps in various places. It's saying, stop torturing me and put me back on my mother. No doubt. That's another band. It's another band. We're naming bands here and having a discussion. Let's see if we can discuss and name bands at the same time. So far, we had modern English, English beat, English muffin, butter my muffin. That's a reference to the Wet Leg Band. They should put it on prisoners that have been sentenced to life in prison in the courtroom and watch the graph go off. It is a little bit of word salad, but I think that it is, an interesting statement, Chuck. Put some English on it. Would you like me to butter your muffin? Yeah. Let's go back here.
Japanese maple.
So this is a contest.
Or a sword.
We like contests on the show.
You guys ready?
Okay, he's got to say what. Okay, so you're going to name
Japanese maple, an apple, or a sword fern.
So basically, you're going to name the singer.
So we'll listen
Japanese
in
maple,
about a minute in,
sword fern,
I'll
or
ask you
apple.
names, and we'll do a little raise of the hands thing. Okay, here we go.
It's a good question. We have a hummingbird, don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Genielle, maybe you can diagnose what kind of hummingbird we have. Okay, so here it is. Sword fern, apple, Japanese maple. Chuck has no sound. Oh no. It's okay. We're only listening very intensely to vegetables sing. Oh no, and nobody has sound? Oh no. That's terrible. I'm just gonna, pray for the sound to come back. Been doing a lot of praying lately. Oh, we do have sound. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for.
I'm gonna repeat
So,
again,
well, we want to have some
and
votes.
we'll vote.
Douglas
So
fir,
it's either a Japanese maple,
Japanese maple,
an apple,
an apple.
or a sword fern.
Cold has sound.
Japanese maple, raise
Scared
your
me.
hands. Okay, that's like.
We need one of those votes in the
Let's
chat
do
room.
three. Apple.
Pamela
Okay,
can't
like
vote 'cause she knows the answer.
maple And sword fern. Oh, that's a lot actually.
See, look at all the
I'd say
people
it's
listening to
pretty
vegetables.
tight. So we know it's definitely not a Japanese maple. And I agree, it's not a Japanese maple. Let's vote between the last two. Okay, so it's either an apple or it's a sword fern. Apple, raise your hands. Okay, it's still about 60. Yeah, sword fern. That's a lot. Sword fern, you're wrong.
It's an apple!
It's an apple. Hey, yeah.
We should have known it was an apple because he's in Washington and I think he's just trying to play to the audience, right? But also, perhaps we would have thought, oh, it sounds so exotic. It's probably a sword fern or maybe a Japanese maple. Put a big watermelon in there and we can hear the fruits and vegetables. So then what happened is he made a big circle with like 10 of us. And he attached the electrodes to our hands and passed this to two people had electrodes in their hands and then the rest was a big circle. So we made this unending circle. It was unending of 10 people. And then it played music through us, or we were the music. And this is what happened. Holy. Nature. Todd, this is modern biology. We're listening to, right now we're listening to music created by humans, just the currents running through 10 or so humans. And then that's when somebody's let go of their hand. It stops. And that was crazy. What do they call that? A closed circuit or something?
We'll try everyone unhooking, and then another count of three, and you'll all hook up again.
the way he proves, I think, that it works. Why are y'all holding hands? Why are y'all holding hands? Closed circuit mumbo jumbo. Thanks, Todd. Come on, guys. All right, so Boney. Boney, I said mushrooms, not muskox. I think Boney's got to get his hearing checked, I think. Because he's, I say one thing and then it's another. Todd and Neil, they're crapping on it. I know, they're not as sophisticated. They didn't like, I don't know. Did Neil finally like Rain Wolf? But Todd definitely did not like Rain Wolf. He just doesn't have a sophisticated ear. Sound current is cut off when you let go of the hands. Thank you, Player One. Appreciate the science. I call it on the phone, on the internet line. Call it on the phone, on the internet line. Saw a guy take down muskox on Alone Season 7. Is that a real show, Todd? I don't know. It sounds like a great story. Yeah, I love Rain Wolf. Okay, finally, we're going to talk to the Mushroom Man himself. I got an interview with him. It's short. Then we're going to get to a few other interesting people, perhaps Todd Lee, perhaps Todd Lee's wife, Sue. That muskox is coming after me. I better get out of the way. When muskox attack. So hi, here we are at the Thing Festival, and we're here with Modern Biology. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
It's great to see you.
Thanks.
I've got a couple of questions. First one, Casey here wants to ask, have you done a cactus?
Yes, I just did a series on cacti, actually.
And were they any different than mushrooms?
It's honestly, yes, but it's complicated.
It's hard to say. The other question that we had here is from Katie over here. She wanted to know if an apple is attached to a tree and when you take it off, is there a difference?
I have not tested that in a scientific way. Yes.
What about chi energy? Do you think this has something to do with what they call chi energy?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think everyone knows about life energy and vibration, all the traditional cultures, and what we call electricity isn't too different from that, I don't think, yeah.
Do you think people could use this to diagnose illness?
Probably not with this resolution, but there might be an application where you could, yeah.
And how does the synthesizer turn the sounds into, the electricity sounds into music? How does that work?
It's like a little calculation that it's doing that's looking for like sort of big changes in bioelectricity trigger bigger note changes. So you're kind of just listening to the process of what's happening.
Cool. How did you get involved in this kind of work? You're a scientist. You were a scientist first, right?
I was, yeah. But this is just me messing around during the pandemic with synthesizers and plants. Yeah, just having fun.
Super fun. That's great. So, thanks for being on the show. If you could say hello, hummingbirds. Welcome to Lunch Therapy.
Hello, hummingbirds. Welcome to Lunch Therapy.
That was awesome. Thanks so much. All right, appreciate it. You know, when you come up with something revolutionary, people make fun of you first. Neil, and Todd. You know, maybe next time. Soon you'll have your own mushroom synthesizer. Breaking news! What? Okay, remember when last show when we said that there was going to be that the launch was postponed for the Artemis rocket that's going around the Earth and then around the moon? Do you remember this, Blas?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so
we had a good conversation about it last Friday.
Right, and they completely I'm going to bring you on the screen here. They completely just, abandoned the mission, and that was probably pretty smart because it probably would have been ugly.
Yeah, they
I'm going to
had
bring you on
because it was a safety situation. Remember, they got to do
those
tests. runs in order to be able to put human beings in space. You can't just throw people up.
Exactly.
It's not cool.
Exactly.
Not cool.
So
it's a safety situation, and if everything isn't working 100%, then nobody goes to space. Do you hear that,
so
Jeff
now,
Bezos?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. I don't know, but it seems like Elon Musk is just throwing stuff up in space all the time, right?
Yeah, but
true?
it's Elon Musk. I mean, it's different. He doesn't sell things on online like Amazon. Everything he sells is like $400,000.
Well, he's taken over the whole market, but just an engineering sensor, not non-critical, Jason says, but they want to be safe. Okay, so in 22 hours and 48 minutes, looks like they're going to launch. This is a live view of the Artemis 1 getting ready to launch to the moon, largest rocket ever, and also the farthest the rocket's ever gone. Anyway, so there's our breaking news. Now we're going to get back to the show. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going back to the Thing Festival because I was roving around doing some roving reporters, and here we are. Yeah. Look at this person. What does that shirt say? What does your shirt say? Sounds of Love in the Apocalypse. Is that a band?
I have ice cream all over it. It
cool.
is a band. Actually, it's not a band. It's the name of their record, but I don't remember what the band is.
She doesn't remember what the band is.
Which is really a huge crime. I feel very bad. But they're from Vermont, so if you Google the album, you should be able to find them.
Do you go to a lot of music festivals?
I do.
What's your favorite band here today?
Today? Yeah.
Yesterday? Tomorrow?
I was kind of here for the whole experience, which I know is a cop-out answer, but Hiatus Coyote blew me away yesterday. I was not familiar, and they were incredible. And Father John Misty just put on a really rad performance. I kind of forgot he existed for like 7 years, and he's just incredibly charismatic. And everyone today, it's really beautiful to be able to go to a festival where you can just saunter up to the front and people aren't pissed off about it. Because I get a lot of festivals and you go back for drinks and you're like, I'm gonna get crucified going back. But
I know nobody seems to care. Nobody cares. You just walk right in front of them, and it's weird.
And yeah, it makes it a nice vibe, having that kind of welcome atmosphere. And, versus just oh, this is a bunch of 22-year-olds on drugs. This is oh, it's a bunch of people of all ages on drugs.
Yeah, all ages on drugs. That's great. And what is your name?
Sam. Yeah.
It's nice to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet
Can
you
you say hello, hummingbirds?
Hello, hummingbirds.
Lunch therapy, what does that mean to you?
Amazing. I'm more of a brunch gal, so.
Well, you can have brunch, too. Take a break from the crap.
There's a lot of crap. There's a lot of uncrap, too. There's a lot of beautiful
stuff. There's a lot of beautiful stuff. We try and focus on the uncrappy.
Yes. Yeah. There's more of that than the crap.
Oh, you think so?
I do. I'm an optimist.
I like that. I like that. So there you got it. You got it here today. There's more uncrap than there is crap. More uncrap than there is crap. We're going to go over there and we're going to interview Bert. This is Bert here. It's like a new word. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, he's cool. Hi, Bert. How you doing? How are you doing today? Oh, that good. He's doing pretty well. Can I shake your hand? It's nice to meet you. Yeah. This is Bert. He's my buddy. Yeah. How you doing? Well, do you have anything to say? All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Really great to see you. High five. All right. That was good. So we're here. This is at the Father John Misty concert. Kids are dancing. Things are going really well. Oh, look at these guys over here. Oh, here we go. Here's Todd Lee. How's it going, Todd?
It's going great. How you doing, man?
Good. Is this one of your favorite bands? Like this
now, yeah. Best one I've heard today.
You like country music, right? Is that true?
I'm a country fan, yes.
How did you come to be a country fan growing up in the Pacific Northwest? I didn't know there were any.
I have no idea other than our place in Clallam. Every time I go over there, the only radio station is a country music station. And so I started listening about 10 years ago and then kind of got hooked.
It grows on you, I think.
It does grow on you, yeah.
It's kind of like stories, right?
Well, yeah, but it's about red dirt roads. There's always some booze, some girl in Daisy Dukes, and a truck.
This has been a roving report here from Port Townsend, Washington, at the Thing Festival. Now back to you, Joel. I hear it's your birthday tomorrow.
It is.
Are you excited?
Oh, sure.
What is it? What do you want for your birthday?
What do I want for my birthday? I don't know. How about just a good, fun day?
Good fun day. Okay, I think we can do that. All right. Now back to you, Joel. Okay, it's time for a pause because we're about to go into the interview, the aforementioned interview of the Port Townsend Psychedelic Society. Yes, that was Todd Lee and the Susie Lee. It was her birthday. We ate some pie. We didn't get her a buttered muffin. We got her a pie or two, and that was super fun. So yeah, this is the pause. We're going to take one breath in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Now it is time for the Psychedelic Society. I want to say, I don't know anything about psychedelics. This is my disclaimer. I'm not advocating psychedelics, but these people are. And they're pretty persuasive and pretty interesting and fearless compared to me, who is big wimp, I think. Anyway, here we go. Yes. Pies. All right, let's get into this thing. It's a short interview Friday with the Psychedelic Society.
Psychedelic Society. Psychedelic Society.
Psychedelic Society. Psychedelic Society.
Psychedelic Society.
Can we talk to you about the Port Townsend Psychedelic Society? Yeah? All right, cool. So what exactly is a Psychedelic Society?
We are a group of people here that care about psychedelics and community and education around psychedelics and also about decriminalization.
Criminalization of like mushrooms and stuff?
We want to decriminalize all natural psychedelics, but specifically DMT containing plants like ayahuasca and psilocybin containing fungi like mushrooms, and then also DMT containing plants like ayahuasca.
Whoa, did I already cactus?
Mexico, thanks.
Yeah, like San Pedro specifically. We're actually not trying to decriminalize peyote because peyote is a threatened species, and it's used by indigenous communities, and we respect their sovereignty over decisions related to their medicine.
What kind of benefits can I get from, say, mushrooms?
Mushrooms? Man, I mean, most of the clinical research is focused on things like recovering from substance abuse disorder is what it's called, something like alcoholism. But anecdotally, I think there's a lot of evidence that people are using it to treat things like mild chronic depression. But I think there's also clinical research around like difficult to treat depression. That's an area where I think people are focusing on. I think more of the PSD research has been done in MDMA, but there's really promising, I think, research being done specifically right now around alcoholism. But one of the things we're discovering from a lot of this research is that a lot of these divisions between different kind of like mental health issues that people struggle with, whether it's OCD or depression or various kinds of compulsions and things, it turns out that like these treatments, these medicines, these powerful substances can actually seemingly be pretty effective in treating a lot of them. We've only just started doing research in certain areas, obviously of really significant need. A lot of people are struggling. Yeah.
I'm afraid that I'd have some kind of bad trip or something like that. But I've never done any mushrooms or anything like that. I've never done LSD or anything. And I hear that like sometimes people have like a bad trip and they can't get out of it and they're stuck in there and they like have to go into like a booth and like crawl into a corner.
Here we have a space.
Do you have that?
We have a space for people.
And how does one avoid having like a bad trip?
Well, it's really good to have a support person with you. If it's your first time, you want to start small and gradually up your dose over time if you feel comfortable with that first experience. You want to make sure you're in a safe space, so a place that's calm, where you feel comfortable. It could be in nature, it could be in your own house, it could be in a community ceremony, it could be with a therapist. It depends on what makes you feel safe.
So you don't advocate just going to like a rave and like some like out in the jungle where somebody's like break dancing and like playing a bunch of really loud music and everybody's dancing with oxen and things like that. You don't recommend that, do you?
I would not recommend that, but I also wouldn't judge it. And I think that sometimes the line between healing and recreation it's like when recreation, the name is, or the word means recreate. So when you recreate, you can also recreate yourself. So sometimes those fun experiences can also end up being healing, especially if you have an event with a healing space, just in case a trip turns challenging.
Yeah.
What about you guys over here? Do you are you psychedelic trippers?
I enjoy psychedelics, yes.
There's a guy that hooks up electrodes. He's called Modern Biology. Hooks up electrodes to mushrooms and makes music. Have you heard of him?
I don't know who you're referring.
Well, what about Sid and Marty Krofft? You know, the ones who do HR Puff and stuff. Do you think that they take mushrooms?
I'm unsure who that is, but based on how I saw you react to who they might be, yeah.
I love that answer. I love that answer. Do you think that doing psychedelic drugs helps people be artists?
Absolutely.
Are any of you artists?
But we have a lot of really amazing musicians and artists in Port Townsend, and many of them are influenced by psychedelic experience, inspired by psychedelic experiences.
When you look at a painting, do you go, oh, this guy, man, he was tripping on shrooms when he did this painting?
I don't know. As a non-artist, I'm not sure I know the answer to that.
Do you think actors should do mushrooms?
That sounds like a great idea.
It does. Maybe like while they're making the movie, they could do mushrooms?
Yeah, I mean, I think method acting in all of its forms is advantageous.
Do you think, okay, this is what I've heard about psychedelics, is that it detaches your meaning to things. So like I put a meaning to this table, but if I trip out on mushrooms, I'm like, whoa, what's that crazy thing there? And because I don't have an attachment or a thing that goes, whoa, calm down, dude, that's a table. Anybody have that experience?
Aldous Huxley had that experience.
Yeah.
He described that experience when he took mescaline. So, yeah.
Do you think when he wrote Brave New World and he talked about a Soma holiday, was he talking about psychedelics?
Absolutely.
Could one take a vacation on psychedelics? Like, could that be just like if you just have like a day off and you're like, I want to have like a whole week off, you could maybe in a day take psychedelic drugs and and it should seem like a whole week?
I mean, I've done that before.
Did it work?
Yeah, it's really good. You know, I really committed the whole day. It was great.
If I decide to trip out, does it take a long time? Could I do it for like half an hour?
Continuing to say trip out and stuff like that
is that bad?
It just shows that you really
don't understand it.
You don't know what the hell
What should I call it? If I don't call it tripping,
just say.
That's a hot take.
Okay.
So like in the trip out.
So if I don't say trip out, what should I call it? Like
just
going
say
on
if I decide to eat some mushrooms or do some peyote or whatever the hell it is.
Or like participate.
Do you think it's like negative lingo to say trip out?
There might be a
judgment. Oh, it's a judgment.
There.
Okay.
Can we ask you some questions?
Yes, please ask me some questions.
I'm curious if you have any preconceived biases or judgments that you might be experiencing right now.
Yes, he does.
What I'm experiencing right now is I'm totally interested in what you guys are doing. You all are doing, not guys, because we're not all guys here. But what you all are doing. But for me, I'm afraid that. Whoa! Look at that! Look at that! That was cool. Yeah. So one of the things, I'd be afraid that I would like just lose my mind and just run around like a wild person. Because sometimes like on other drugs like alcohol and things like that, people do stupid things, and then the next day they're like, why did I do that? That was so embarrassing. Or maybe I'd start on the journey and suddenly go, whoa, I'm scared, and then have to and not be able to go back. Just have to keep going forward.
Have you had other experiences in which you're really scared in your life? And what do you do when you're really scared?
I sometimes cry. I get all kind of teared up. That feeling when you go into like a haunted house kind of situation. I get kind of teared up. Sometimes I hyperventilate. Sometimes I sweat, and sometimes I just curl up in a ball.
Good. Yes.
All very good reactions.
Yeah, I think that's the medicine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I want to ask you this. Sometimes with ayahuasca, people say that in the beginning they throw up and they have these horrible experiences, but at the end they feel like they cleanse themselves of something, or they had an experience that they needed to have that helped them on the rest of their journey in life. Does that make sense?
And most people call it purging, and usually when you're purging, you have a sense of what you're throwing up, and it often is a really beautiful experience, even as it's happening. It's not like it's not like having the flu when you throw up. It can be uncomfortable sometimes, but it can also be really pleasant.
Give me a release. Yeah, our kind of tension or discomfort, can be stuck, right? We can store bad juju in our bodies. We can have bad memories and things, and so when sometimes in intentional kind of ceremonial use of plant medicines, which is things people have been doing for many thousands of years, right? When there's the right kind of support structure and people feeling able to be very vulnerable and release a lot of their some of those tensions, the experience can be incredibly therapeutic, and in fact it's amazing. This group is doing ayahuasca retreats for veterans. It's called the Heroic Hearts Project, and the work they do is just incredible. It's really, really awesome.
That is cool.
Amazing program, amazing organization.
I think that guy's on mushrooms right now.
Jess is the founder.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people on mushrooms.
I believe I should know.
Look at his eyes.
Either a SEAL, I think maybe a SEAL. I think he's special ops, but he has an incredible story. Like so many veterans, he was really struggling, integrating, coming back, finding a sense of being grounded, and he was kind of at his wit's end. And luckily, really, he was able to connect with, like a curandero or an ayahuasquero. I believe he was in Peru actually, and it was so healing for him that he started this program. And so he's been helping veterans get access to plant medicine.
That's really cool. Thanks everybody for talking with us today. My name's Joel Marshall. I have a show on the internet called Joel Marshall's Lunch Therapy, and we're always trying to look for new therapeutic ways that we can get through the crap in life and the things that we're going through. And a lot of us are actors and filmmakers and artists, so we're trying to look for ways that we can keep our creative juices flowing and also stop ourselves from putting barriers in our way,
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Sounds like that's a lot of what you're all doing as well.
Sure.
So it's cool.
A lot of people like to microdose on mushrooms or microdose on LSD.
It's like a big thing these days.
Can be a way, for breaking through writer's block. I believe James Fadman is a really amazing clinical psychologist, and I think he used microdosing in order to get through his own writer's block and some of the support the research he was doing in psychedelics. Yeah.
Wow, thanks so much. This is super interesting. All right, thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, cool. I'm glad.
Thank God they thought that was fun. Yeah, so I think what we've established here is that I'm a complete pussy. I think is what it is. And I would not do any of that because that would be so scary. I'm already tripping out right now, sitting in this bird bath. Yeah, pretty scary stuff. If you haven't watched it, Joel, you should watch Fantastic Fungi. Oh, I'm going to watch Fantastic Fungi. Thanks, Kamala, there for keeping the camera on because she was freaking out as I was tripping on the trippers. And thanks to the Psychedelic Society,
even if I have learned nothing, other people have learned things and learned about the journey that's possible on psychedelic things, which I will not be partaking in. Okay, so Jose Gonzalez, remember him? I have a little bit of that here before we go into the dance break because the show's almost over. Your bag doesn't match your NSAM. Wow. What does it mean? Player one.
The bag doesn't match your ensemble.
Oh, your ensemble. Wow.
I think he's trying to say that they're good, not color coordinated.
Not. Is that a metaphor? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, the chat room's too deep for me.
You feel like what?
The chat room's too smart for me. Oh, the pink backpack, of course. That's how we found each other. This guy's great. Yeah, always, if you're ever at a music festival, wear a pink backpack. First of all, it gets you a lot of attention. Second of all, you can find your group, your cult, if everybody has pink backpacks. I think that should be a hummingbird thing. And also,
I think you're right.
When they go to search your bag, they're like, I've seen it already, don't worry about it. Because they remember it.
There's nothing in that pink bag.
Someday everybody will be wearing pink backpacks, and what'll happen then? So we'll have to switch to green. Joel, has listening to live music ever made you feel beyond your body? Yes! Edelman, you made a great point there. When especially, and I'm not a tripper, as you know. I'm not even a day tripper, not even an hour tripper. But when I would go to dances in my high school, I would have this out-of-body experience. And not just dancing, I'd just walk in there. And I would suddenly, I don't know if you ever felt this feeling, but it's like you're back somewhere looking at yourself and you're like super tiny. Some people say that happens when you die, right? Is that transcendence? Yeah, I used to have that a lot when I was a younger person. Maybe I was more enlightened. Anybody else have that experience where they're just out of their body? Acid mushroom trippers want to lose control. We want to keep control. We're under a wallet. Chuck always has the interesting comments. I don't even know if they're comments. They're sort of... It's like a book. Anyway, so, okay, we're going to dance it out now. That, of course, was Mr. Jose Gonzalez, who is an incredible performer from Sweden. Bloss, are you ready to dance this thing out? Because I've got a great one. This is I'm going to bring you on, Bloss. You ready? Because, one of the things people might not know about Bloss is that he's an exquisite dancer. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that. He's you were a professional dancer at some point, right?
Well, I'm still a professional dancer. Why do you say that in past?
Oh, you still are. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to put things in the past there for you. Sometimes, inadvertently.
I still get paid.
If you get paid for
something, that makes you professional, right?
Do you think sometime on the show you could have a thing where you teach us like a dance move? Like a video?
You would love that.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
That would be cool. So, okay, we're going to do that in the future. But now we're going to dance to something called Caitlin Clampett. This is a woman named Caitlin Clampett, and this is a summer mix because summer's over. Today is September 2nd. I believe that means summer's over. Is that correct?
I guess, is it the second that indicates that it's over? Because
I don't know, but
we got Indian summer.
I think that's Native American summer, my friend.
Wait,
right?
Is that, you have to say Native American summer?
I think so, right? I don't know.
Why don't we just say indigenous folk summer?
That's a good idea. We gotta change those. Player one says, "Not me. Music makes me warm, changes my temperature." Kamala has had the out of body experience. That's
next level, like eating ice cream. We're in the pause here before the storm, which will be the dance break.
Yeah, I think music does that. Like, you know, it's emotional. You know, you could play a
That's
song from
true.
any year, and it really can take you back there. You know, it could take you back to a moment, like you know, in school or in college, or you know, when you have kids or whatever. Music reminds you and brings emotions to you. You know, of your life. You know, it's your soundtrack, it's your life soundtrack.
Yeah. I think that's true. Smells, they're like smells. You know, it's one of those things that gets you. I think you're right about music hitting us almost purely emotionally. And summer isn't over. September 21st. We have all this time. I never heard of September having summer. It's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. That's Todd Lee said it, dude. That's a fact.
Yeah, Todd said that. It's a fact. Like,
Lee?
that's like a
Yeah,
person that knows something.
Stay with it, dude. It's Todd Lee.
All right. Well, it's good that we have the Caitlin Clampett summer mix because it's still summer, right?
Yeah, of course.
Let's get this thing
California
going.
feels like summer 9 months out of the year, bro. I mean, Christmas.
Yeah, but everybody's not in California. That's the thing. That's the thing about the internet. Everybody's not in California.
Like Seattle, it's like
Seattle's
summer's only
not
like
part
2
of.
months, right?
It's not part of California. Yeah. There, and then it gets like just the sky just turns white, and you say to yourself, "Well, at least I can go skiing." And then you just pull out the coffee
like
pot.
It's an overcast.
Yeah, it's just overcast. It's just there's not even clouds. It's just you look up in the sky and it's white. It's like one big cloud, right?
Oh.
Okay, we got to get dancing. Let's get this thing
cool.
going.
That makes the air cool too. Yeah.
Here we go. Dance break time. Caitlin Clampett. Oh yeah, you're still on the screen. I can't control when you're on the screen anymore. I can't do it. I know. Who knows why it does that? But you're in two places now. So this has nothing to do with Thing Festival at all. This is just Caitlin Clampett.
Turn her volume up.
Oh man. 3 songs. See if you can name them. Name the performers. Well, she's the performer, but name the original performer and the song. Girl Crow, thank you, Todd. That's right. Danielle. Name the next one before it comes on. Is that possible? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? She's good, isn't she? I like this song because it's happy. That's what I like about Sheryl Crow. She always has like happy songs that are kind of, you know, make you feel good.
Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide
Name this one.
away from the rest of the world. I wanna be the
great.
one to walk in the sun, and girls, they wanna have fun. It's all they want is some fun.
Madonna. Countless is Madonna, but she's wrong. Of course. Maybe she's being sarcastic. I don't know. There we go. Tina's got it. I guess maybe Camel was guessing the next song. Maybe that's what she was doing. That's probably it. Well, guess the next one. There's one more. Who would go along with these ones? Cyndi Lauper and Sheryl Crow. How about Joan Jett, maybe? Iron Maiden. ABBA. One more. Modern Biology, that's right. She's going to do a Modern Biology cover. And that will just bring everything full circle. therapy. She's gonna hook up some electrodes. I like she's got the weird, like, I don't know what that is, but she's playing. What is that instrument on the right? Is there another song? There's not. There's not. This has been Lunch Therapy.
Nice. Hey.
Yeah.